What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Payne. Welcome back to another DC Heroes and Villains video. Alright guys, something I want to talk about right now, and that is what is the best colored units in the game and what are the worst colored units and why. A lot of people are asking questions. Plus, just so you guys are aware, I am still working on that brand new account. I'm actually at stage 6 now, I believe. So once I get to Raven and I start doing that boss, I'll put a guide out for her also on my brand new account so you guys can see. And I'm trying to do this so I can follow you guys with your footsteps and help you along the way. As you can see here, I'm on stage 15, almost done stage 15 actually. Moving on to 16, 17, and 18. 18.5 right now is the highest you can get from a gated perspective. They've actually made it almost impossible to beat. Everyone who's at that point has already shown me what the fight is, and it literally is impossible to kind of do right now. So just note that if you guys are looking to quickly progress and try to consider paying and stuff, you don't have to, because right now we're still all gated, right? Another thing I want to bring up real quick while I'm doing this last little fight here is the actual units. Some of them like Flash, Parasite, Beast Boy, Raven, etc. are currently not out in the game. We beta players have access to them because we have them, so they've let us keep them. But they will return, guys. This is nothing to do with them being removed from the game or anything like that, okay? I just want you guys to know that because a lot of people are asking that question. So once this fight's over, which it is right now, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the best color units. Now, what do we mean by color? Well, that is going to be the element of units, right? There are some really good teams with good elements, and there are some really bad teams with elements, and I kind of want to break it down for you guys and talk about which ones you should be focusing on. Now, to make your life easy in the game, for the beginning, early on to middle, and in my opinion, still the best faction color in the game is going to be the following color. It's going to be right over here, and that is going to be greens. Greens are probably the most dominant color in the game for many reasons. Number one, they've got the best tank in the game when he is released at the time, for my opinion, and that's going to be Beast Boy. Highest HP pool, instant taunt from the get-go. He does, and then he also has an AoE damage dealing move, which is incredibly strong. And he also provides taunt at the same time after he does that. Beast Boy is probably the most stellar tank in the game for sure. Nothing special, just raw HP, raw AoE damage, and a taunt. That's all you really need in a tank. They just need to absorb damage and be able to live, right? On top of that, they've got the Riddler. Now, the green team's Riddler is extremely powerful because he's the most dominant board manipulator in the game, meaning what he does every turn actually, he has a chance to convert any tile on the board into a green tile, and when he does his special, even though it does no damage, he causes 2 of the most important debuffs. And on top of that, he converts one of those green tiles into a power tile, which is either a horizontal, a vertical, or a cross tile, which if touched will affect everything around it, whether it's vertically, horizontally, or in a cross, or if they're connected, does even more damage, right? So extremely, extremely important unit for green team and pretty much drives the entire team. Next up, Poison Ivy. You get her for free after you complete her battle pass. Easily the best healer in the game. On top of that, being a hybrid DPS for a single target, really good damage. And on top of that, if she gets hit, she also does her passive here, which inflicts accuracy down debuff for 3 turns and attack down debuff for 3 turns. She starts off with accuracy down for 2 turns as her 1-star, but if you get to 2-star, she'll actually start doing attack down as well. So 2 very, very important ways to survival. Not only is she healing, but she's pretty much doing 2 very critical debuffs on opponents to keep them from killing you guys with attack down, which is 20% attack down. Maybe it's even 30%. And then also the accuracy down, which means they have a chance to completely miss their attack on you. Complete damage avoidance, right? So very important to note. Lex Luthor. Already made a showcase about him. If you have not seen it, go check it out. One of the best single target damage dealing units. Extends all buffs plus 1 turn. Does immunity and gives power move to every ally every time they do an attack, every time they have a buff, and each time it's a Legion of Doom ally, he'll also give an extra 4% every time they receive a debuff, okay? So extremely important unit to have for a green team, and again, is going to be your main DPS on that green team. And then of course you have a couple extra units here that makes green shine. In the beginning you're going to get Enchantress, who's going to be a very stellar unit, an easy one to max out because of this. She has also a ghetto version of the tile, providing you green tiles at 10% on the board, so she does have a little bit of control of the board there, but she more importantly gives you a heal over time buff, the lowest HP ally, and also has a AoE heal or hot heal over time for all allies. So green right away gives you some of the best. You also have a neutral tank in green, Killer Croc, who's no slouch, not the best tank, but no slouch. And then of course you have Martian Manhunter, who's part of the Justice League, and also is a decent unit. Every time he dodges, he has 70% chance to do attack down, debuff on the attacker. The problem with him is he doesn't really have a dodge mechanic, so I'm not sure where or why dodge is his main mechanic for that. All right, now his power move also generates a barrier on the lowest HP ally of 22% of his max HP, and flips all the debuffs to buff equivalents for the lowest HP ally as well. So not a bad unit overall, but not a great unit either. But these right here, these 5, are pretty critical for green, and they are, in my opinion, for that reason, the best colored units in the game. All right, next up, we're going to talk about a different unit. We're going to talk about, let's talk about purple. I think purple is a fantastic unit to start with or talk about. It's going to force me to get out of this, so let me go back out. Game's still a little buggy, guys, so I apologize. We're going to have to do this once in a while. Let's go purple. There we go. Okay. So purple is unique. Purple is missing 2 very key elements to it right now in the game. You guys don't have access to it unless you are a beta player, and that is going to be Raven here and Parasite, okay? 2 very, very good units are missing from the pool right now, but they will be re-added in the future and perhaps redone to some extent. But right now, I own them, so I've played with them, I've used them, I know how they work. This is the most inexpensive, but one of the most efficient colors in the game. So Amanda Waller, I can't stop talking enough about her. You guys already know. Let me explain to you guys again in easy layman terms why she's so powerful. The fact that every time she gets hit, the damage gives her 150% of that HP loss into her power move, so she can build it quicker. She converts 4 random tiles into, and that's a 5-star one, by the way. At the beginning, she doesn't have that power at all. She just have the 150% HP into power bar. But as you build her, which is really easy to do, by the way, my brand new account already has her up to 4. Like in the last 2 polls, I've got so many of her. You can do the 4 random tiles, which starts off really strong for purples especially. Her power move is really where it's at. This attack buff gives you 25% attack. A full faction team only gives you 12% attack. Right? A full faction team. She herself as one character is worth 2 faction teams put together for the attack buff. And not to mention, she also gives you critical up as well too on all allies for an obscene amount of turns. And on top of that, she makes all of your allies perform an assist attack, which means every single ally will perform a basic attack on that opponent. Every single alive allies. Okay, so keep that in mind. They have to be alive. Making her easily one of the best characters in the game. And I don't think anyone will ever make me reconsider that, because I think we've all proven it. People who are using her can see the results already, and she is easily carrying a lot of teams, okay? Raven, unfortunately not in the game. Amazing with Teen Titans, anti-heal, AoE damage, as well as immunity plus a buff for all Teen Titans for heal over time, right? So really good unit. The defense down is no slouch either, makes you hit way, way harder. So unfortunately she's missing currently from the roster. I think they may revamp her and make her a little better. So keep that in mind. Penguin, easily one of the strongest tanks in the game. Also provides taunt on the highest HP ally whenever someone drops below 50%. And on top of that, he does 3 damage moves, single target, which hit at like a really obscenely high percentage. So he's a very, very strong tank with a high HP pool. At the same time, really good passive and hits really hard, like a truck. I'm telling you, it's crazy how hard he hits. Batman is very mediocre, but you do get to start with the 4-star for free. Don't put too much into him, guys. Really not worth it. Huntress, one of the best single target damage dealing units in the game. Provides herself stealth, gives herself crit up and dodge up. Really hard to kill. So highly recommend building her if you're looking for a damage dealer. Worth the effort. Parasite, incredible tank. Absolutely incredible. Self-sufficient. can pretty much sit on every team, heals himself, has great debuffs. Overall, a very, very good buffing tank on his own. High HP pool. I would say better than Penguin, to be quite honest with you, but unfortunately he's unavailable right now. So it makes it a little harder to obviously use him. Donna Troy, Ghetto, Wonder Woman, not that great. Joker, incredible unit as well too. Like super, super good. A lot of people complain about the fact that he gives taunt to other allies randomly. The thing with that is it's not a problem because if you have a tank, which you will, that tank will usually give the other ally who would taunt a 50% chance to be avoiding damage anyways. Joker's AoE damage and his debuffs are way too good to avoid. Just easily a really, really good unit to use. The attack down buff is great. The taunt buff on somebody is on a random ally is fine. Sometimes it hits the right ally, right? And the fact that there's a 60% chance the enemy is inflicted with anti-heal buff for 3 turns every time Joker takes damage is great. And when he drops to 50%, he removes all debuffs from himself and grants himself stealth, making him a lot harder to kill unless you have like Cheshire or Blue Beetle, who's currently not in the game either, as an anti-Joker a hero, right? So purple, I would say, is a close number 2. And coming in third, very, very close to third, is going to be red. Okay, so I'm going to talk about reds real quick. Again, I got to get out of this. Sorry, guys. It's just damn bug. Red. Okay, red is very powerful. Now, red probably has some of the strongest damage-dealing single-target units in the game and some of the most unique characters. The problem with red is they don't really have a manipulator on the field that actually benefits them too much. So the Flash is removed from the game, making this a little bit lower. If Flash was in the game, red would be number 2, purple would be number 3, okay? So Flash actually is incredible because he gives everybody haste, which increases your power gauge increase by 33%. So extremely useful unit, easy to level up, easy to get dupes of, and he's missing right now. So hopefully they re-add him again and you guys can go ahead and collect him, okay? Cersei, easily one of the strongest 5 stars in the game with some of the most unique skills. For each buff and debuff applied to her, increases her attack and defense by 3%. Each time she's targeted by a power move, she unleash, unless she has a red color up buff, she inflicts red color down debuff on herself for 7 turns, which is fine. You actually don't mind that. The reason why is when she does her power move, she takes all of those debuffs and flips them to buff on all of the allies, including herself. And every buff that's on her, she gives a barrier to everybody and increases that buff, that barrier by 1% for every buff that's applied to her. So you actually want her to have as many debuffs as possible so she can flip the script and do this. So absolutely one of the most broken characters in the game and stands on her own on any team, by the way. All right. Wonder Woman, a little bit of a niche character. Still really good when she blocks. She does have the converting of red tiles, but she's really hard to dupe, which is kind of the problem here. And she only does convert 2 red tiles at the beginning of the battle. Her power move is very strong though. It does inflict block down for 5 turns and removes the taunt from an ally, so that's great as well too. And if taunt is removed, that ally also gets vulnerability debuff for 3 turns. So overall, a really good single target damage dealing unit, but not an OP one, which kind of causes that to be a problem in itself. Katana, really, really good. Pair her with Halo, and you guys have a really good team. Halo's incredible as well. So Cersei, Halo, Katana, 3 OP units. Deadshot, incredible DPS. Ultra Humanite, actually a really good off healer and buffer. They did nerf him. He used to be able to actually resurrect. He can no longer do that. But every time he's inflicted with a debuff, he has a 40% chance to remove that debuff and apply the debuff to the originating person that did it to him. Let me actually upgrade him here. There we go. And there we go. Maxed him out. I just pulled 2 of them randomly. Also, his single target attack is fairly strong, and he also heals the most wounded ally by 60% of his max HP, grants immunity and heal over time for 3 turns. So he's pretty much the red version of Poison Ivy with a different use and talent, okay? So really good unit for a red healer. If you're looking for a red healer, that's who you want to go with. An Artemis Grace is actually pretty decent herself. She does fare well with Nubia as an Amazonian, but if you don't have the Amazonians, it's okay. And the reason why that is okay, because her power move here actually does remove all debuffs from allies and also grants color red up. Never pair her with Cersei though. That's the only problem with her. You cannot have people debuffs be removed from Cersei because Cersei will flip those debuffs to buffs. If you have her and Cersei together, you're playing it wrong. Do not pair them together ever, okay? That's your advice on that. So that is, I would say, the 3rd best color in the game at the moment. Let me back out and go back in. And then, of course, we have two other colors left, and that's light or yellow and blue. Let's talk about blue real quick. Blue's probably the worst color in the game at the moment. It's unfortunate. It truly is unfortunate because you have some of the best units here. Blue Beetle's missing. When he gets added, this will raise the stake a little bit more. Newbie is a really good 3-star tank. Live Wire is decent AoE. Vandal Savage is incredible for a tank, but so is Superman. So you've got 2 tanks here, 1 hero, 1 villain. Nightwing is mediocre. Black Lightning is mediocre. Everyone else here is okay. Or really bad. Sorry, Graspin is okay. So you've got really 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, like 2 okay units, 1, 2, 2 really good units, and a really good unit. So 3 really good units, and they really don't work together at all. There's no one here to really control the board. So blue's lacking the most. I'd say they're probably the worst color in the game. And then let's go off to yellow here, which will be the last one. Yellow is actually okay. They're in a decent spot. So Cheetah, incredible single target damage dealer, self-buffer, really good unit, highly recommend her. Amazonian killer, essentially. Anyone who blocks, she just destroys. Copperhead, really good and slept on. Immune to crits, wild 7-turn dot, good damage, dodge up, great buffs on himself. It's going to be extremely important to have for guild raids, okay? So you want to build that Firefly, not bad AoE, okay? Aquaman, actually really good AoE, and the passive's not bad here. It's an anti-buff passive to 1 random enemy for 3 turns, and then suppresses barriers on all enemies. That's the important one. He's going to be more of a PvP unit, and he has a chance to remove all buffs from all enemies. So overall, pretty stellar unit. So not the greatest 5-star again, but not a bad unit at all to use. So they're 1 step ahead, I'd say, of blue. So the color schematic at the moment is green, hands down the best, not even a question. Purple and green work really well together, but purple would be second best. If you want to go all purple, then its third would be red, but not by much from purple. And then fourth would be yellow, and then last, unfortunately, is blue. So those are the color schematics, guys. I've already done a full team guide on how to build teams based on these colors. Go check that out. It's on the channel. Thank you for the support, by the way, guys. It's been overwhelming, and I've been having a blast making these videos for you. So if you do enjoy them, like, subscribe, and put the notifications on for the next one because they're dropping like hotcakes. All right, guys, this is Payne. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.